with jobs in India, what usually happens is either you're approached by a recruiter or you make it through campus placements or you directly put your applications. But when I started talking about, since I worked on a variety of tech stack, then I took a transfer within the same company to Gurgaon. 3 months later, I was fired. Then I started interviewing, got multiple offers, took one in Kolkata. 3 months later.
Glad to have you on our People of LinkedIn podcast.
Thank you, Sarath.
If you could share a little bit about who you are and why did you start your journey on LinkedIn?
Okay. So as you guys already know, my name is Aryan. And I am a 2023 graduate from a college. And the reason I started LinkedIn was there are two reasons actually. One is I always had LinkedIn on my mind because if I were to post content on Instagram or say YouTube, to get the best quality content, I would need the best audio and the best video. But to create a top-notch content on LinkedIn, you just need to write good.
Right.
So I feel like LinkedIn was something wherein I could generate value giving very little compared to if I were to do it on Instagram or YouTube.
The time investment required was much less.
Yeah. The amount of effort required and the returns on the effort was much more on LinkedIn. And the reason why I got a good return on, let's say, writing on LinkedIn was because I had a tag which helped me milk an audience. Correct. So, which would be my company, Walmart. This is actually my third company. What happened was, from college in a time span of an year, I have shifted companies, say, twice and shifted cities thrice. I started in Mumbai. I was there 6 months. I worked on a variety of tech stack. Then I took a transfer within the same company to Gurgaon. 3 months later, I was fired. Then I started interviewing, got multiple offers, took one in Kolkata. 3 months later, I switched again. So many a times when I see people on LinkedIn, they're constantly worrying about looking like a job hopper. In a sense, if they try to switch after a year in the company, and I did it, say, twice or thrice in a time span of a month and gave three months to each company, right? And the job market right now happened to be very
hard,
very competitive. Yeah. So I did some things that I thought were unconventional. As in when I was trying to switch jobs in India, what usually happens is either you're approached by a recruiter or you make it through campus placements or you directly put your applications. But when I started talking about, say, cold calling or cold emailing, which is how I got my Walmart interview, I think no one was doing that on LinkedIn. And as to which HR to approach, when to approach them, how to approach them. So the initial traction which I had while switching companies was capitalized. And the strategies which I was using gave me good returns. Certain things, there were certain criteria of me writing certain posts which generated traction as well. For an example, if I were to talk about a topic which has two different school of thoughts and blatantly support one. Let's say, for an example, if I were to talk about government jobs versus private jobs, and I blatantly support how private jobs are much, much better than government job. Everyone who's doing a government job right now would come comment section and cuss at me, which is fine. But anyone who's doing private job would also come at my comment section and defend me in a sense. But if they are arguing with each other on my comment section, it is generating hype and traffic for me.
Engagement. Yeah. A controversial opinion, strong controversial opinion generates a lot of engagement.
Yeah. Controversy creates cash is a statement I heard years ago, and it is proving that in my posts right now.
True, absolutely. Actually, two really important things.
Providing a lot of value as well. Sorry?
Absolutely. So two really important things that you spoke about in terms of LinkedIn growth. First one is capitalizing on brand value. And second one was controversy, the creating some controversy, right? So can we talk more about capitalizing on the brand value? When you mean to say, I'm sure you mean to talk about getting into elite colleges like, let's say, Harvard or IIMs, IITs, or getting into really good companies like Google, Facebook, Walmart. That's the kind of thing you want to capitalize on.
Yeah, correct. So what happens is, if I were to have, say, 100 followers today, and I would still make a switch to Google tomorrow and make a post about it, I'm excited to announce that I've joined Google as a software engineer. That post alone would generate so much hype and so much value and get you so many connection requests that it does not make sense to not capitalize on.
Right.
So I am in Walmart for, let's say, 5 months, right? Right. If I were to switch companies tomorrow, I can predict that it would lead to, say, 2,000 to 3,000 more people added on my, who will start following me based on that post alone. So once my Walmart post happened, the post which I made had a, say, you call it a CTA, right? Had a CTA which said, I don't think the way you guys are applying to jobs are correct. I have some opinions and I'll share it. And this was the first post I made 4 months ago. And since then, I've been to capitalize on the hype, which initially was proved beneficial. Then I started going to creator events and collaborating with different creators. So essentially, how LinkedIn algorithm works is, if you were to like my post, it will also reflect on the people who follow you. Correct. So if someone with a lot of following were to like my post and comment on it, it will also engage their audience in a,
Right.
so it is just capitalizing on every opportunity that you get.
Right.
One of the things which I not did when I started out was, I had not shifted my account to follow primary.
The creator account.
Creator account. So a lot of people who used to follow me or connect with me, and I didn't want to accept their connection request, were audiences lost. So you don't want to do that if you're starting out.
Awesome. Actually, what you spoke about, the idea of capitalizing on brands, right, is a very similar thing which I also believe in. I see it in a more broader lens, in the sense that if you want people to listen to you, that means worthy of being listened to. So why I say that is because if you have a story that is unique, that you can tell, and only you can say it because you've done it yourself, that's something which people will listen to. Like, for example, if you started a new business, like you got your first client, or you quit your job, or you got into an elite college, or you failed in an elite college, all those are things which are worthy of listening to. And all those things will generate. And that's something which you realized very quickly, and you've been able to capitalize on it really well. So
Yeah.
how did you do it so fast though? How did you do it? Just a 50 posts, I think you got thousands of followers, right? How did you do it so fast?
I got some 10 to 11,000 followers in 50 posts. Honestly, there was something you spoke about a moment ago. I'm forgetting. What was the point that you raised? I had something to say about it.
Yeah. So if you want people to listen to you, do things worthy
Correct.
of being listened to.
Correct. My point is, the same opinions which I have right now, the same knowledge which I have right now, and the same things which I had right now, if I were to post about it, say from Futures First, or say from Cogoport, or any other startup in the world, even if I was paid more there than I am paid here, I would still not generate that kind of traffic.
Yeah.
So one of the major things that I did was milking my tag. Everywhere I was posting, if I were to mention Walmart in the post, it would also come with an @ symbol behind the name. Correct. So everyone who would want to search a post by the name of the company, they'd be redirected towards my post.
Okay.
Every opportunity I got, see, every post comes with new people who look at your content.
Right.
So every time what I used to rub it in people's faces, in the most respectful sense I can, that I joined this company. I cracked this company. These are the companies I could not crack. Talking about everything, just showing successes on LinkedIn is something very common.
Yeah.
If I were to achieve, say, something magnificent tomorrow, then portraying it on LinkedIn is easy. Correct. But I talked about everything from the start to what I did to come here, essentially. As in, when I was talking about, like I said, cold emailing and cold calling, no one was doing that. Correct. If how people search jobs in tech is, if they were to cold approach people on LinkedIn, HRs on LinkedIn, they would add certain number of HRs from the people section and then randomly paste a custom generated mail for the company to each.
They would just DM and email whatever they can.
While I agree, this is a numbers game. It is also putting your message to the relevant people. So let's say if I were to find an opening in a company whose job ID is posted on Workday, any employee of the company could fetch me the name of the HR who's hiring for the position. And then it makes more sense to directly ping that HR or call that HR if you can get the number, than pasting it to 50 different people. There are HRs who have talked to, and I said I want to apply to a particular position, and they used to tell me that they only hire 4+ years of experience.
Okay.
So in company org structure wise, different human resources individuals hire at different experience level, and it is very important to know who is relevant to you and your audience.
Oh, okay.
I gave them the relevance in the sense. If they were to apply at Walmart tomorrow and they have, say, 1 year of experience, I gave them the names they should approach and the people they should follow instead of randomly following hundreds of people.
Beautiful. So how did you get to know which HR was recruiting at which experience level?
Multiple things. Like I said, I got fired from my first company. So it was not just me finding jobs. It was people, all of us finding jobs together. And if, say, one of my friends interviewed at a particular company, he is at my experience level. And if he were to fail his interview, that is when I have the HR's contact as well. And I used to call them, and next week I have an interview scheduled. Correct. Okay. That's the first method. Is when you are fired alone, you are alone. When you're fired with a lot of people, you have an audience to do it with you. Correct. Help them and get help as much as you can. Second thing is when they post a job ID, any person who is an employee of the company would know who the relevant HR is through Workday. Okay. Or let's say if the company has posted an opening and the HR is not visible, but you know the opening is in the team which handles Azure DevOps, let's say. Correct. I would just need to do a quick search on MS Teams to find who is the relevant HR who comes under the manager who is managing Azure DevOps. Correct.
Okay. So using Microsoft Store to the best possible way to find.
Use Workday, use your friends' connections and Microsoft Teams to find who the HR is or what their LinkedIn is or who is hiring.
So basically, MS Teams, Workday, and what is the other one?
Connections, LinkedIn connections.
LinkedIn connections. Okay.
No, I had
your friends base.
Yeah. Correct. If you have an alumni base from a good college, man, that is more than enough. If I were to apply at Google tomorrow, there is 100% probability that there is someone from my college in Google.
Right. Amazing. Like that's exactly what I was trying to say, right? I think the reason why you went so viral so quickly is because you have very unique things to share, right? And when you have unique things to share, people want to listen to it. That's as simple as that. There's nothing else apart from, because the writing, people say that, you need to write in X kind of way and in this kind of a structure and this kind of a format. All that is irrelevant if the story is not. It is irrelevant.
So all the writing and the structure is what I clearly focus on when I'm trying to create a controversy. Create a controversy as in I have strong opinions about certain things which are being done. Like I had made a post about Cognizant. An HR called from Cognizant to my friend and asked her if she would be able to join the company at a 2 LPA CTC.
Okay.
Correct. I made a post about it. I really had strong opinions about it, and it got tremendous backlash. Tremendous backlash by people working at Cognizant. Many people called it a fake post. That CTC starts at 4 LPA, so I'm trying to just generate controversy to gain following. What happened 2 months later? Cognizant posted a job ID which had a CTC of 2.5 to 8 entry level.
2.5, yeah. Even I had
so when they were hiring at 4 LPA, one of the HRs called my friend, asked her if she would be willing to work at 2 LPA. I made a post about it. People called it a fake post, and then 2 months later, Cognizant posted the 12PA thing.
Beautiful. Is there any other? So basically, there are two kinds of posts that you do. One is capitalizing on brands, and second one is controversial posts. Is there anything else that you are planning or have done?
To be honest, even on controversial posts, I try to provide value and provide things which genuinely people should do. So if I were to write that nobody, even if they do not have a job, if you have done a BTech degree and spent say 10 lakhs for the degree, under no circumstances you should be willing to accept a company which is offering you a 12PA job. In a sense, it is controversial because people are willing to accept the salary, but this is also something which I deeply believe in. As in, why would you be willing to work for someone who would give you a 12PA when you have spent so much amount of time and effort and money in doing something else? Correct. One of the things I have, as of now, stuck to particular niches only, which is software engineering and
Tech.
job finding tech stuff.
Job.
Other than that, time and time again, I make a few motivational posts, but which are also revolving towards the tech space.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to speak a little bit more about the cold calling approach.
Yeah.
Is there any way you use to find the numbers of the particular recruiters? Are there any techniques or tips for that?
So first thing is befriend people if they are getting fired. Okay. Because they'll definitely find jobs by hook or by crook. If I were to befriend 10 people who get fired, once they are placed, I can just sweep in and ask them where all the companies they have interviewed, whether or not they can share me the contact if I were to interview tomorrow. Okay. Second thing is, even from my personal experience, even HRs don't know how to approach people asking for referrals on LinkedIn. I've had people in human resources approach me without a job ID when trying to apply in government. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So, if in case you are ever approached by an HR, help them. Help them in the sense, because if they were to switch to a company tomorrow, they are the ones who will, process your application very fast. Third thing is knowing who the relevant people is. Like for an example, when I started, delivery was actively hiring. Correct. The only HR who would hire from delivery at that time was Srishti Basu. Correct. A startup generally would have 1 or 2 people only. Correct. Who are in human resources. Now I used to follow such HRs very closely. Now that Srishti Basu has made a switch to Zeta, okay, as a senior talent acquisition, and I do have her contact in my phone. So if I were to apply to Zeta tomorrow, even though I know her from her time in delivery, I would have a direct contact. Correct? Third thing is, whenever I engage people in top-mate sessions and I help them with, say, some particular contact they're applying to at a company, they are also coming from a company. Correct? So last week, someone who was working at Pocket FM approached me and wanted to apply at certain companies he wanted contact of. Correct? Or who are the relevant people he wanted to know of. I helped him with that, but I also wanted to know who hires at Pocket FM and whether or not he'll be willing to share his contact.
Right.
So essentially, if someone approaches me on LinkedIn, I try to barter my contacts with them if they have enough contacts.
Right. So the general theme I can find in this in this set of techniques is help people, whether it is people who have gotten fired or whether it is HRs themselves, helping them get referrals even if they approached you, and helping people who approach you directly.
Correct.
It's basically revolving around adding value to people directly, and they'll remember you because you helped them before, and they'll help you back in some time in the future.
And they do. No, not just me. If I were to approach people who I helped in the past, for my friends as well, they'd be willing to go the distance for me because I did it for them.
Amazing. This is all really, really, really interesting. And I don't think people have thought through about, job hunting to this level. I think there's probably even like a possibility of an ebook or maybe even a small website, which helps you get HR details quickly.
Yeah.
And maybe that could be a
Let's
term.
say, Frank, I am probably gonna come to Instagram content really soon.
Right.
So yeah, if it were to come to that, I'll probably generate an ebook worthy content through my videos only.
Yeah. It's really, really interesting what you've done. And it all started, I would say, because you got fired, right? Is that the motivation that gave you all this?
Correct. Also, the reason of going viral, one of the major reasons is I had one of the best stories. That this is what I'd like to believe, because the 2023 end to 2024 job market as a fresher was one of the toughest
Very
markets
tough.
to crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is still a very tough market to crack, but I could do it with multiple interviews, say 12 to 15 interviews that I gave, that I could just give because I had the relevant info.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Especially now that you cracked such a hard market, it'll only get easier and easier going forward. Once you understood the nuances of for getting an interview, I think after that it's pretty simple for you to land any job you want.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, precisely.
So are you planning to switch anytime soon again? Or you're going to stay here?
Not really. I feel like I'm very stable here, and Chennai is treating me very nicely. Apart from the weather and me not being able to talk most of the time, I think everything else is good.
Okay. Which college are you?
Are you aware of PIT Mestra?
Yeah. I was in Viet. I mean, I had been there for recruiting for my. I was in Byju's for many years, 7.5 years. So I parted of IIT, the ISM Dhanbad. I guess it's close by to PIT Mestra.
Yeah, very close. I am from Dhanbad.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I studied there for 4 years, and then I had come to PIT Mestra for recruiting multiple years, like 2017, 2018, 2019. And I know a lot of your seniors, like hundreds of them.
Yeah. Nice to know you as well.
University is great. PIT Mestra, I know really good people from PIT Mestra, and I know some really successful people as well. And knowing you're from PIT Mestra, do you know Karan Bajaj by any chance?
Yeah.
He's from PIT Mestra, right? Yeah, White Hat me. Yes. Yeah, he made.
No, I think that's my thing.
Okay.
When he came for recruitment for my seniors, I think that is when I meant 2022 batch, he came for recruitment.
Okay. He made 1,000 crores in 3 years. Like he started a company, made it average revenue rate of 1,000 crores in a year, and then got acquired for $360 million, and then left the company in 3 years. So it's like what he had done in just 3 years. He's great.
A new founder from our college called Sarthak Srivastav. Not many people are aware of his company. It's called Flowworks.ai.
Okay.
It's a YC funded startup and is doing something great, to be honest.
Okay.
It's like a lot of people would not even know his name or the company's name for that matter. But let's give it a few years and see where it goes.
Nice. You believe in the company, basically.
Yeah, firmly. If they were to launch their stocks tomorrow, it'd be the first one to buy.
Brilliant. I think we had a great conversation, and hope to have another one once you hit 50,000 followers on LinkedIn and maybe even on Instagram. We'll catch up.
Yeah. Where are you from, by the way?
I was born in Hyderabad, brought up in Chennai, and then I was in Hyderabad again for a couple of years during JE coaching, and then I was in Dhanbad for 4 years.
Okay.
And I've been in Bangalore for the last 9 years.
Nice. Okay. So if I were to hit, say, 10K on Instagram in the next year, we'll catch up again.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Aryan, for being on the show.